For fans of the old Bash Brothers, 1990 Fleer baseball cards just may be the ultimate tribute to a team that never quite lived up to lofty expectations. Back in those days, Fleer employed a unique numbering scheme that placed the World Series champions at the top of the set, with players ordered alphabetically. From there, teams were represented in order of their winning percentage from the year before, starting with the best and working their way down the standings. In the spring of 1990, the Oakland A's were coming off a World Series championship in 1989, so Fleer dedicated card number 1 to Lance Blankenship and rounded out the regular player issue with card number 620 with Frank Williams of the Detroit Tigers, who had fallen on hard times in 1989, all the way to 59 to 103. For the A's, who were supposed to have won the series in 1988 and 1990 and maybe 1992, that 1989 season was a high-water mark that they have yet to recapture. For the other 25 teams at the time and their fans, 1990 Fleer was just another in a long line of mass-produced sets that commemorated another year that ended without a ring and was long ago shoved into a shoebox deep in the closet of our diamond memories. That doesn't mean it's not worth another look more than a quarter of a century later, though, because it's part of our collecting heritage, like it or not. We're bright and family-friendly. By the time the first wax packs hit store shelves in 1990, Fleer was reeling from the events of the previous card-buying season and had been a bit gun-shy about their new issue. After all, they were the only card company to ever lay out the F word in clear focus and right side up for the enjoyment of young fans. Thank you, Billy Ripken, and a flawed proofing, editing, but covering process. So while Topps was busy whipping up their Chickle-inspired color explosion and Donruss was preparing to bleed through our wax packs, Fleer took a more conservative approach to the design. Gone were the gray pinstripe borders and obscenities from 1989, replaced with blazing white margins and a focus on team branding. Each card front starts off with the Fleer logo in the upper left-hand corner, complemented by a colorful team logo in the upper right. The player photo extends beyond the upper border, usually to the top of the cap, and is set off by team-colored pipe on the left, right, and top. The bottom features a folded, waving banner with the player's name on the left and his position on the right. Photo quality is not perfect, but in general is much better than what Fleer offered in the 1980s, and the overall mood of the card front is that of a kid's birthday party, all bright and ribbony and fluffy, no swear words to be found. Turn over a 1990 Fleer card and it's much of the same. A red rectangle with rounded top corners and a bannerish bottom border leads off each observe and displays the player's name and vital stats, capped off with the Fleer name and card number inside a baseball in the upper right hand. In the middle two-thirds of the card is devoted to the table of complete stats, including minor league numbers for most players. For young guys, the stats box is followed by a Did You Know block with more detailed tidbits. Did you know, for example, that the first batter Randy Johnson 6'10 faced in the major leagues was John Congolosi 5'6", according to Fleer of the Pittsburgh Pirates? If there is anything that distinguished the Fleer baseball set from its competitors in 1990, it was the vital signs feature that finished off each card back. There, in an early nod to sabermetrics, you can find 3 advanced stats for each player: OBP, SLG, and strikeout ratios for batter, walk ratio, strikeout ratio, and OBA for pitchers. All in all, it's a safe design that was likely intended to keep Fleer on the straight and narrow a year after the F-face debacle. Safety in numbers. Also safe was Fleer player selection in 1990. In an era when printing baseball cards was still akin to printing actual money, the denominations you were cranking out tended to be dictated by the rookie cards in your set. In 1990 Fleer and the other manufacturers, they had plenty of material to work with when it came to first-year bling. Among the rookies blazing their way through 1990 Fleer baseball were Juan Gonzalez, Marquise Grissom, Larry Walker, Sammy Sosa, David Justice, Moises Alou, and Delino DeShields. And these were just the guys who still look good decades later, now that their full stories have been written. At various points along the way, players like Mike Fetters, Eric Anthony, Alex Cole, Lenny Harris, Kent Merker, Kevin Maas, and Derek May provided hope for their teams and a bit of extra exposure for the 1990 set. Of course, beyond just rookies, Fleer was able to include the biggest stars in the game among their 660 base cards. A few names you might recognize include Mark McGwire, Cal Ripken, Ken Griffey, Nolan Ryan, Roger Clemens, Tony Gwynn. You name him, and if he was a star in the early 1990s, Fleer had him. Well, except for Frank Thomas. Fleer managed to miss out on the big hurt, but they had company on that front, as Donruss whiffed too. Otherwise, 1990 Fleer baseball cards had just about everything a collector could want, and more. A box set and a base set. Beyond its team grouped player cards, roughly 24 per club, Fleer offered up a handful of subsets to build in variety for its 1990 set. Among these were Players of the Decade, cards numbers 621 through 630, 10 of the biggest stars of the 80s, one for each year, to commemorate Fleer's 10th major set, presented in a format that you'd swear came straight out of one of Fleer's 287 or so box sets. Superstar Specials, cards number 631 to 639, 9 cards featuring superstar mashups such as League's Best Shortstops or American League All-Stars. Major League Prospects, cards number 640 to 653, 2 for rookie card combos that defy all attempts to draw connection between the paired players. Checklist, cards number 654 to 660, selfless cards who exist only to talk about other cards. Through the clever inclusion of these special features, Fleer was able to crank out 3 different Cal Ripken cards, 2 Jose Consecos, and 3 Don Mattingly pasteboards, among other multiples. What better way to serve a star-hungry collecting public than to stuff your set with as many of the starriest players as possible? Buy them like this and get these. Well, one way that Fleer and its competitors sought to draw us in was to include inserts in various types of packs that they used to distribute their cards. Among the options in 1990 were wax packs that contained 15 cards and a team logo sticker and were sold 36 to a box. Canadian wax packs that contained just 10 cards and a team logo sticker and came 48 to a box. Blue cello packs that offered 33 cards and 3 stickers and came 24 to a box. Green jumbo packs that came with 43 cards and 3 stickers and 24 per box. Rack packs that contained 45 cards and 3 stickers coming 24 per box. Included among these cards in these packs were 3 insert sets. All-Stars, a 12-card set issued in wax packs and cello packs. Soaring Stars, 12 promising youngsters seated in jumbo packs. League Standouts, 6 league leaders available only in rack packs. In addition to all of these distribution methods, Fleer also offered a complete factory set, which included a 12-card set featuring highlights from the 1989 World Series. Fleer tagged on another set of cards to its 1990 efforts too, issuing 21 players and 7 team logos as wax box bottom cards in 7 panels of 4. Finally, of course, the end of the season brought the 1990 Fleer update set, which recidified their Frank Thomas lapse. Among the other 131 cards were rookies issued of Steve Avery and Jose Offerman, and others, and the first Fleer cards of stars like Dave Winfield and Cecil Fielder in new uniforms. Yellow Streak. And if all those options don't completely satisfy your 1990 Fleer cravings, you can rest easy knowing that there's still work to be done in order to compile a complete master set of the Philadelphia Company's 10th baseball set. In particular, there are several errors and variations among the 1990 Fleer baseball cards, including card number 15 contends that Mark McGwire scored only 4 runs as opposed to 74 in 1989. Card number 353 of Dave Martinez can be found with either red or gold 90 on the front. Alvaro Espinosa is credited with the wrong number of career games played on card number 441. Don't Call Me, Joey Bell gets J Bell's Did You Know treatment on card number 485. Card number 586 credits David Justice with the incorrect number of doubles at Sumter in 1986. Card number 590 reports 2 different ERAs for Kent Merker. Card number 621 credits George Brett with 10 seasons of batting over either 300 or 390. Wow. Even legends aren't immune to misspellings, as Cal Ripken found out on card number 624. At least it was later corrected. Will Clark is listed with either 32 or 321, which is correct, total bases on card number 630. If you're keeping score, that brings the total number of cards in the base set to 664, including variations. It should be noted that Martinez's yellow variation appears to be extremely scarce and hardly ever comes up for sale. So does that make it priceless or premiumless? Hard to say, but it's probably somewhere in between. What's the price of infinity? Speaking of value, the 1990 Flair set presents an interesting case. By the time it was issued, we were already getting an inkling that our yearly influx of cardboard was not exactly limited, and as a consequence, this set never appreciated much in value. Today, you can still find unopened 1990 Fleer product in just about every form in large quantities enough to choke the most prestigious landfill. So the question again is, does that make the set worthless? Maybe not worthless exactly, but certainly not priceless, and maybe not even worthwhile for some collectors. But there is something to be said for cards that you can buy in their original form nearly 3 decades after they were issued for less than what it cost when they first appeared on store shelves. At last check, you could pick up complete sets for well under $10 on eBay, and full wax boxes would set you back about $5 each. That's less than 15 cents per pack, and it's a hell of a bargain when you look into the going rate of time machines these days. No amount of 1990 Fleer baseball cards will make you rich, and they may not be the junk wax icon like 1987 Topps. But a pack or two just might make you happier for a few minutes and give you a shot of nostalgia like only the wax pack gods can. Like this video? Then like this video and subscribe to our channel. waxpackgods.com